Bioterror. The world lives with it. You live with it. Viruses are stolen, re-engineered, misused with tragic results. And who are you supposed to trust? Politicians who sell their souls for a few votes? CEOs who betray consumers for a quick buck? Count on us instead. We're above the politics, always watching, always ready to face the threat head on. We are the unflinching mop that sops up the evils of bioterrorism and chemical warfare. They call us Terra Save. Because tear doesn't have to end with a wrist.
Hey guys.
Redfield.
Oh, hi, Claire.
Hey! Hey, Claire!
Moira. Welcome to the club.
Reporting for duty, Ms. Redfield. When do the hazings start?
Cut it out. We've been friends for how long?
Long enough that I'm allowed to give you shit.
Psst. Claire, could you,
What's up, Neil?
Something's going down in Washington. Did you hear anything?
What, the new virus? Come on. You know Tricella's history, right? Hello?
Hey, that Barry Burton's girl?
Yep. Moira started today. But you've got to be careful if you're going to mention
Her and her dad? Oh yeah, emotional minefield.
Okay. You did your homework. What other horrible invasions of privacy have you gotten there?
Hey, I gotta look out for TerraSafe. We have our enemies. Anyway, good luck breaking her in.
She's not a horse. Bye. Uh-oh. What'd he do this time?
Fucking Barry. Every time I ask him anything, he pushes back. I wouldn't even be here if I listened.
Coming with us.
No, there must be some kind of...
Why are we here? Just to suffer?
I'm saying this right now. I am assuming that this is better than the first one.
I usually hear people say the first one's better.
I'll be the judge of that.
This game was episodic.
Yeah.
And by episodic, I mean every part came out two weeks away from each other.
Oh.
It was episodic in the most pointless way possible. Because you're not gonna really get anything done in 2 weeks.
No.
So that's great.
Audio.
That's great to hear. What else? Oh yeah. Let me Google something real quick so I can make sure I get this right. Oh, you got DLC outfits.
Just for more, cause Gary's mod, so I couldn't see her like without that costume.
So you have to buy the DLC.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Okay, here's interesting. First, let's have the story started. Let's see why we're here. What's going on? Before I get into this. Why bother putting me in a cage? You're just gonna open the door once I wake up.
Why did it open? I didn't do anything.
Nah, don't worry. Chris got you out. He's like the Redfield bloodline needs to continue.
Ah, so you saw that tweet about the Pokemon Sword and Shield character.
Yeah.
Becoming Pokemon champion won't stop me, Leon. You need to continue the freaking Redfield bloodline.
What the hell even started that meme?
The original joke was that Chris actually didn't want Leon with Claire. They just decided to make it the opposite because it's a lot funnier to think about. That's pretty much it.
Claire, I just want to go home.
My costume is so bad.
We're gonna get out of here.
I got too used to it from Gary's mod.
It's so bad. Anywho, here's the thing. Do you know what the Bechdel test is?
No.
The Bechdel test, sometimes called the Mo movie measure or Bechdel rule, it's a simple test which names three criteria. It has to have at least two women in it who talk to each other and about something besides a man.
Oh, okay.
This test was popularized by Alison Bechdel, comic of Dykes to Watch Out For, in a 1985 strip called The Rule. For a nice video, pretty much the whole entire test is to see whether or not the media or whether or not the story you are writing is essentially trying to find the right word. Generally, people use the term both not sexist, but that's not the idea. They're pretty much trying to say if it has proper representation is the idea. Let's go with that.
Oh, okay.
Proper representation of women. So this is the test everyone always goes to, right?
Yeah.
Is there someone else?
Even though everyone acknowledges that the Bechdel test is garbage.
Oh my god.
I can imagine.
What the fuck?
Let me refer to those three rules again. 1, at least 2 women in it. 2, the 2 women have to talk to each other at least once. And 3, they have to be talking to each other about anything other than men.
Well,
This could come in handy.
And there are some people who still use this test as if it actually means something. Because it is so vague like this that anything like freaking it becomes. Why are people even complaining about certain things? Like, look at the game you're playing right now, right? Game you're playing right now.
uh-huh.
There are people who call this game sexist, but based on this test, no, it's not. It's actually not. You can't say that because it passes the Bechdel test. Like even Nekopara passed the mother effing Bechdel test.
We can squeeze under this. Give
That's
me
how
a
bad
hand,
this
Moira.
test is.
Go.
That's why you shouldn't use this test as your measuring stick.
Hmm.
Like according to this test, apparently John Wick Chapter 3 fails.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
But who cares? Because this test is garbage. Stupid. And this doesn't mean anything. By God. That is an interesting question that you probably never had to think about.
Okay.
How do you feel about min-maxing in games?
That was close.
Hold on, did she just say, oh me god?
Probably.
Alright, how about maxing?
Min-maxing.
What does that mean?
Min-maxing is, let's say you have a game that has, and the game that has stats, right?
Yeah.
If you try to pretty much make it to where you can pretty much make it to where you have the most optimized possible build, which generally requires an obscene amount of work that the developers never even intended for you to do. Or comes a point where the only way to progress is to min-max.
Depends.
Okay, here's an example. You know in Final Fantasy V, I have the freaking ability to attack 8 times.
Yeah.
Imagine if that was required,
Oh.
and you had no idea that that the game expected you to do that.
Oh, that's a bit like a.
Or let's say if the game pulls out freaking BS, where the only way to win would be like this thing. Like they technically don't intend for me to do that, but that's the only way I can win.
Did you know her?
Like you and Chris see what I did as
Yeah.
completely downright dirty
She's
and
what's
unfair to the
safe.
to enemies in the
Why did
game.
anyone do this?
Now imagine if doing that was the only way you could
I can
win.
hear the wind out there.
Oh, then
This must be the way
that's weird.
Then we need to find a way through.
Like the whole idea is like essentially doing your best to make it so freaking you're the most unstoppable person, which generally requires the most obscene amount of work.
Here.
An example, you have Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
Imagine making a team in Pokemon which pretty much freaking the way you have it built, you can't be stopped. That's just unfair to the enemy.
Oh.
And I got examples straight from min-maxing Chief Shaquille because F that guy. An example being he had a setup where he had it to where he had a Mewtwo X, and it had a move that has a small percentage of essentially making your opponent flinch, which gives her a turn, right? Shaq raised that to pretty much guaranteed.
Oh well, no, that's not fair.
Like you can't do anything because every single time you take a hit, you're gonna flinch and you get no turns.
Nah, that's not fair.
One of the more famous ones is a Rattata, the Swift Claw, and Endeavor.
Oh.
All right, we made it.
Essentially,
It's over
freaking I'll quick attack. Essentially, the idea is you get like a level 1 Rattata, right?
Yeah.
What's that sound?
You then haven't learned Endeavor,
Okay.
and then they give it this item that allows it
She's
to
gone.
endure. So here's what happens: the Rattata gets hit, right?
Yeah.
Do you,
But it endures and
are you
survives.
gonna use
It
that
then uses
to roll
Endeavor,
on any person?
which takes the power that it was hit with and hits the opponent with it, which essentially makes
The
it
key
to
must
where
have
the
shifted closer when
opponent
body fell.
where the
We could be
opponent only has
anywhere.
1 HP
It's hard
left,
to see.
and then
Shine the light
Rattata
around.
uses Quick Attack, which is guaranteed to go first to finish off the enemy. See how ridiculous that is?
Yeah.
And another one Shaquille did. Okay, he has a Magnemite, right?
Yeah.
Magnemite's like level 5. And
think it
only
means
level
snagging
5 and it
something
has
on the way
Endure,
down?
right? This Magnemite only needs 2 moves. Toxic and Recycle. And Oranberry.
Okay.
So here's what happens. So the Magnemite uses Toxic, which poisons the opponent, right?
Yeah.
Then after that, it'll take a hit, but it'll endure, and then it'll essentially heal itself with the Oranberry.
You think it might have snagged on something on the
All
way
you got to
down?
do then is spam Recycle, which will constantly have it
It's out of reach. Let me try shooting it
freaking
down.
eat an Oranberry over and over, and essentially, since you have Endure, you essentially can't be killed unless the Magnemite is already at 1 HP. Pretty much creating a giant cycle of you will die from poison because you can't kill this thing.
Wow.
Forget about it, just run!
So that's another example of min-maxing.
Run!
Let's try. I just take a Google School thing first to make sure I get my descriptions right. Let's see. Now. Let's see. Alright then, here's an example for Fire Emblem Awakening. The skills Underdog
Let's double back
and
try to keep.
Gale Force.
Okay.
Underdog essentially ridiculously buffs your character if the person they're fighting is more powerful than them. Which will happen a lot. Then you have the move Gale Force. What is Gale Force? If you defeat an enemy on your turn, you essentially get another turn. Now combine it with Underdog, you're gonna be killing people left and right like crazy and constantly getting turns.
Wow.
And on the harder difficulties, you pretty much need that in order to win. Like that is min-maxing. Now you think that is a good idea in a game.
Nah.
Especially in a game that also has PvP.
Oh, no, hell no, that's not good.
And that is the issue with min-maxing. It's the whole idea that you have the ability to super grind your butt off to ridiculous degrees, to where it just becomes, or degrees where either case of, if it has PvP, no one can beat you, or if it doesn't, or if it's freaking has bad higher difficulty, use Moira's thing to smash. It's just a crowbar, right?
Let me see.
She's supposed to have a crowbar.
She has only a flashlight.
I guess you gotta, can you use your knife then?
Yeah, I was looking for my knife. Where the hell is it?
One of the shoulder buttons?
Is that my herb? No, that's my
Yeah,
herb.
it's your herb, it's your herb.
What the hell? Where's my knife? I lost my knife somehow? That's fucking... She has it right there on her ass. Why can't I access it? No, that doesn't help me. Oh wait, turn that shit off, yeah. God damn it. Oh.
You need a gun too, Moira.
No, I really, really don't. Sorry, I don't do firearms. Not after what happened.
Shit, I'm sorry. I forgot.
Okay, here's
Maybe
an
we can find you
example.
something else.
What's your shoot button?
RT.
No, I'll just
Press
be
it
on
right now.
flashlight duty or something. It's fine.
Oh my fuck. Okay.
Just press it without aiming. That's how you use a knife.
I think there's something shiny there, but I can't make it out.
Let me hit it with the flashlight.
Ah.
Nice. Blunt weapon.
Samora's flashlight is the equivalent to the scanning thing in the first game.
Essentially, yes. It's also meant to give this player 2 purpose. And I may ask, why is Mora using a crowbar rather than a gun?
She said she can't handle firearms.
Exactly.
Claire?
Woman, we like living.
Yeah, I saw.
Kind of like living, and now you may say that may make you uncomfortable, but we kind of like living. So you're gonna have to face your fears. Also, I just remembered people's stories of them going how they effing called it in rather inappropriate moments.
Oh.
Such as one person One person had a friend. The friend always came to their house, but they never went to their friend's house. One day, one of their friends managed to get alcohol. They're 16. They're 16, mind you, and decided to go drinking. And then while drunk, they're like, "You don't even think of me as a friend." "Yeah, I do. I can never come to my house then,
And who
because your
exactly
dad
are
looks
you?
like a pedophile."
Well,
They then got exiled from the friend group for saying that because it was a pretty harsh thing to say. Then 3 years later, they find a friend again and apologize again, and the friend said, "Stop apologizing, because you were right."
well,
This looks like a way out.
And this one, I'm gonna let you debate whether or not this one is it is appropriate or not.
okay.
So, let's see. I believe it was friend is in a bad situation, and the person's trying to help them, but them and the family refuse help, and they're like, "One of these days, what you're doing will get you killed."
Oh no.
Years later, they get a phone call from their friend's family saying saying they died, and they actually did go, "I effing called it."
Oh.
And they said the reason they said that is because for years the family had been insulting them for even putting an idea in their heads. So it's like, "Nah, f you." So the kids are not
let's
f
take
you.
one home.
Do you feel like even was justified? Would you still even was justified? Should they still be going, "I effing called it"?
No.
Let's see this one. Another one. Yeah, this one. The person has a really good ability to tell when someone's pregnant.
Okay.
Problem is, they tend to be able to tell someone's pregnant before the pregnant woman even knows.
Oh.
So people start believing it's not the idea that you know they're pregnant. It's the idea that you claiming it makes them pregnant. And they said, "You're forbidden from saying I think
Laura,
someone's pregnant. I
I'll
swear to
give you a
God."
boost. See if you can climb up.
Okay.
There's a fact like you were forbidden for going, "I think you're pregnant," because they believe not. It's you're the one causing it. It's not you just being able to tell. It's you're the one that's doing it. I also believe Morris flashlight can also essentially like blind enemies temporarily.
Interesting.
So don't quote me on that. I'm just check. Let's see. As the Revelations 2 flashlight. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so. Oh, no, yep, yes, you can. You can start. You can totally stun enemies with a flashlight.
Oh, okay.
I can't do this alone.
Let's see. This one
This way.
is a more heavy story, and this one's more debatable on the conclusion.
Okay.
So a person has a friend, and friend has abusive boyfriend, right? I tell them don't just stop getting involved. Well, one day they end up getting pregnant, and still decide to stay with an abusive boyfriend. And at this point, the person feels like they shouldn't. The writer feels like they shouldn't tell their friend's
Let's
parents
not
at this
get ahead of
point
ourselves.
because they feel like it would just cause pretty much like a lot more stress to them, a lot more stress to them. So they decide to keep it hidden. Then one day, their friend shows up. Their friend shows up. Their friend shows up to their parents' house, and they're angry at the writer for some reason. Because they still decide to blame them for anything bad. In this case, their friend is now anorexic and also clearly hasn't been eating properly.
Okay.
But they still decide to get into an argument and try to get physical on the writer. The writer then smacks them in retaliation to get them off of them.
Okay.
I didn't smack them hard or anything, but they still smacked them nonetheless. So after this smack, the person, because of their unhealthy condition, pretty much just went down.
And that's photo time.
Why?
Oh, I thought this was a puzzle.
No, it's just lore.
Okay.
So yeah, freaking this one, a case of, so they went to the hospital, only to find out that after the altercation, the person had a miscarriage,
Oh.
and then they died 12 hours later.
Oh.
And even though the whole entire thing was self-defense, I didn't go to jail or anything, but apparently the police still technically counted as you were the murderer, even though they were the murderer. And so they're questioning whether or not they're not questioning whether or not they're a bad person. They're just essentially going like, I'm not gonna feel bad about this, and some people are actually like, how could you not feel bad about it? They knew they're alive, they knew what they were doing, and they decided to come at me. What was I supposed to do? Just take it?
Well,
What do they do? Just take it because they decided to make stupid decisions? Let's see. What else I can think of? What other news do we got? Oh yeah, how do you feel about leaks?
sometimes I like them.
Because there are people who, there's some people, like, well, specifically, how about leaks that happen before a big planned event?
It's interesting.
There are people who actually hate it when things get leaked before a big event, because like you're just undermining the event and when the thing was supposed to be announced. Like especially if it was like literally very soon anyway, so there's really no point.
Okay.
Trying to make the point is that you had a Kotaku writer saying, "Why are you guys getting so upset about leaks? There's a very toxic mindset that you're actually getting upset about leaks that apparently to you spoil big events." And developer forgot a war is like, they're upset because of the fact that developers put a whole lot of time and effort into what they're making and wanted to pretty much surprise everybody, and the surprise gets ruined because some a-hole like you decides to just spoil it for everybody.
Well,
So in case you don't know, Jason Schreier is the person who leaked a whole lot of stuff for Fallout 4 to the point where all of Kotaku got blacklisted by Bethesda and no longer gets told anything.
rip.
Bugs.
Which also raised
Had to be bugs.
questions about whether or not, first question of should a company have the ability to blacklist a news site?
Yeah.
Because some people say like all they did was leak several pages of a game script months before the game was even announced.
Oh yeah, you're getting blacklisted.
Like, in a whole entire back and forth with the YouTuber Young, they actually tried to justify it by saying, I didn't show any of the actual big, I didn't actually upload any of the actual big spoiler stuff. It's like, you're trying really hard to justify yourself, aren't you? It's like, yeah, you can leak stuff, but guess what? You also run that risk. Like, no, like the company doesn't owe you anything.
Yeah.
A game company does not owe you their news. Okay, Copper Box. Here's a more interesting question. The idea of people considering things as parasitic as parasitic. Here's an idea.
Follow me.
It's not possible.
So there are some people who consider games journalists and reviewers as parasites feeding on game developers. The idea they're trying to say is, well, without game developers, game journalists won't have a job, so technically they're just backpacking off of all of our work. Like, how do you feel about people saying stuff like that?
Holy shit! Wait, hold on. How the fuck do I get out of here?
Dude, there's an open patch.
Where? Oh, here? Woo, let's get the fuck out of here. Alright, I'm sorry. Repeat the question.
I get. Let's make sure you're playing out of here.
Are you okay?
Oh, he's gonna follow us.
Yeah, I was almost over there sandwich.
Does Barry tell everyone he knows?
Well, at least we've got power. That should help.
Isn't it funny?
What's funny?
You didn't hear that?
Barry has to tell everybody.
He's
Alright, please.
He's not here. Claire's clever joke.
I didn't pay attention.
She says she was almost a Claire sandwich, which Mora said, "Oh my god, my dad tell everyone that joke?" This game's chock full of just random references to past Resident Evils, either for the sake of humor or the most laziest of writings.
You're almost a Jill sandwich.
One of the notes in this game is flat out pretty much a copy. It's pretty much a worse version of the itchy taste you know from RE1.
Oh, I love that note.
Except it's not gonna read it again, but it's done worse. That'll make you happy. But yeah, I feel about people who claim that relationships are parasitic, saying stuff like games journalists mooch off of game devs because without game devs they won't even have their jobs. Like,
That's rude.
no duh. Like, no duh. But guess what? If you didn't have customers, you wouldn't have your job.
Goes both ways, buddy.
Like, just because relationships just because a job is created in response to something does not mean the response is parasitic and they're all just evil parasites that are mooching off your hard work.
What the fuck? What the hell was that?
Like, an example, is an adaptation of something mooching off the work of the original?
No. You're inspired by the original content.
No. I said adaptation.
Adaptation? Like they make a sequel of something that already exists? Is that what you mean?
Your favorite movie franchise is Resident Evil. You don't even know what adaptation is.
Oh, like that. Okay.
You take one thing and then do it again, but a different medium. Like how you have books that become movies or mangas that become anime. Like this, like taking one version of it and then transferring it to another medium.
We're torturing people.
Okay. Sounds cool.
Like, is that not technically leeching off the original?
Yeah. I could see it.
Does that make it bad? Because of it?
No.
Here's the craziest one that I don't even get. This is what I really don't get.
Oh no.
All of these types of things, where it's like, and this one I get, like this is technically connected to the other thing, to the thing I'm already mentioning, but the mindset of you wouldn't even have how do I explain this? I believe it was BuzzFeed that made this, or MTV, one of those two. But they made a video that's supposed to be about YouTubers who don't like them, right?
Yeah.
And then, quote unquote, making a video of essentially picturing the ideal world that these people want, which is, people like them to just move on.
Okay.
And then try to claim that if this is what I really don't get. The idea that if they get their way and the people actually move on, then they'll have nothing. Then they'll have nothing to report on whatsoever, and freaking will just end up doing nothing, and eventually actually wanting the people that he dislikes
Holy
to come back.
fuck!
Dude, you're in a small room. It's nothing battle arena. Machine.
Oh, I'm out of ammo.
You got bottles. You got bottles though.
Mora, let's get out of the room, please. Should have thought of this earlier.
What did you think would have happened when you opened
I didn't pay
all the
attention.
alarms? You opened all the alarms.
Yes.
You opened all the cells.
Oh, what the hell? She just
They
fucking...
just sliding?
Yeah, you saw that too.
We have the whole mindset of if we don't exist, then these people have nothing to do for their videos, and so that's why if we go away, they'll just want us back. And it's like, you guys know how news works, right? They report and respond to things, right?
Yeah.
That's like saying freaking news companies would essentially be begging for anything to happen, for any negative thing to happen, if freaking there's no major story to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, do you go to a news company and say you wouldn't have your job if nothing interesting happened?
Maybe.
Like, no duh. It's like it's like another mindset people don't think about, where it's the thing where it's like try walking up to a police officer and saying you wouldn't have your job if there were no criminals. Like, yeah, no duh. Kind of how it works. It's kind of how it works. Yes. It's why when people depict an ideal world, there's generally no police in it, because the idea of the only reason you would have police is there are crimes, but in an ideal world, there wouldn't be any crimes. No doubt. Like, my God, because that's how that works. Like, just the idea that once someone gets that, like, just give us the idea of people legitimately thinking that police officers would be begging for crime to happen in a world with no crime.
Well,
It's just picture that. Hey, picture going up to a doctor and saying you wouldn't have a job if people weren't getting ill.
oh no shit.
It's like freaking going to a chef. You wouldn't have any customers if people didn't have to eat. Or if people didn't like food.
You wouldn't exist if you weren't born.
You wouldn't exist if your parents didn't bang. Or my favorite version.
God, where the fuck do they keep coming from?
Or remember, your goal is to open the thing. You don't gotta kill everyone.
Oh.
Remember your goal. You forgot your goal. Oh, so I just remembered something, but now would be a horrible time to say it.
Oh no.
That would be a horrible time to say it. You watched South Park before, right?
Yeah.
You know the episode where Kyle's dad tied Cartman up to a freaking cross? So we're tied Cartman up to a cross, and and then Chef comes and gets him down, and then says, "I got some real bad news right now, but I want to upset you."
Mm-hmm.
Then he asked for the bad news, and the bad news was, "This is all a dream. You're still up there."
well.
My realization was there's traps in the room you were supposed to be using.
Oh.
They did not expect you to waste all your bullets. Expected you to look in the room and notice there are traps you could use to make things easier. That's why that revelation. Oh no, I'm gonna say this, but he's gonna be so upset if I say it right now.
Oops.
So try checking the room for traps you could possibly use. I think that thing can be spawned or something. You really think you'll get to that door perfectly in time?
If I leave her opening the door while I use this shit as Claire. Wait, what happened to all my ammo? It reloaded the checkpoint with no ammo for me. Why? Nah.
Like, did you pick up ammo before going in that room?
I had a bunch of ammo on me.
Have you like? How do I explain this? I believe it was BuzzFeed that made this, or MTV, one of those two. But they made a video as a.
What the fuck?
Did you craft ammo or something?
No, I legit had it on me. Okay, game, whatever. I go fuck myself.
Huh. Let's see.